a slice of ham sent this scammer to prison. Wait, whoa.
After buying 2 Rolexes, a gold bracelet, and a massive diamond pinky ring, Prince Khalid of Saudi Arabia hopped on a private jet to New York. Upon landing, he had his limo drop him off at the Four Seasons Hotel, where he rented out the entire top floor.
Okay.
Then, he ordered room service.
Okay.
But his meal was rudely interrupted by a loud knock at the door. Open up, Prince. You're coming with us. Before he even had time to think, 2 men busted the door down. They beat the shit out of the prince, forced him into a car, and took him back to the airport. Luckily, he was able to slip away and alerted the police that he'd been kidnapped by 2 men with guns. But the cops never arrested the men. Instead, it was the prince himself who would end up in jail. It turns out, Khalid wasn't exactly a prince. In fact, he wasn't even Arab. He was a con man from Michigan named Anthony Gignac.
Michigan. This nigga's a white nigga who changed his hairstyle and put on a turban.
Spent most of his life pretending to be a member of the Saudi royal family. Over the course of 30 years, he stole millions of dollars while posing as Prince Khalid. The 2 men who kidnapped him were actually bounty hunters tasked with bringing him back to Miami so he could face justice for his many, many crimes. This is the story of the Prince of Fraud.
You know what it is? We shut the pools down so that a boss can swim in private. You know what it is?
Bro, this nigga, bro, mega scammer, bro, mega. Bro, do you know how much of a piece of shit you gotta be to scam for millions, bro?
You know what it is? It's taking off. Private planes. $300,000 bathroom. 2016 Maserati.
For years.
Magnificent resorts, a Louis Vuitton bag, Versace mansion, magnificent suite. Yeah, no faking here.
You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? I mean, it's only part of the problem because they was probably gonna get caught anyway. They flexing too hard. They can't help but show off. Cause like, let's be honest, right? If I was to pull off some, you know what I'm saying? I'm out of here. I ain't gonna lie. I don't need to be on the internet. I ain't gonna lie. I don't got the gall. I don't got the gall to do it. But if I would pull it,
but if I could,
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you.
Oh, there'd be signs.
Even if I was on the internet, it wouldn't be making content just to say Versace, Rolex, $300,000 penthouse. We'll be flexing it.
1970. Anthony was born Jose Moreno in the slums of Bogota, Colombia. And to say this man had a rough childhood is an understatement. Jose and his brother Daniel run away from home after watching their father kill their younger brother because he couldn't afford to feed 3 children.
Oh, shit! Oh, he was doomed from the start. That's trauma. Pain cap.
That's the craziest start to a video ever.
That's man. He could have
I can't.
He could have picked anyone. Yeah,
I can't even blame him now.
Yeah, you was a mistake. I can't afford this. That's nuts. That's nuts.
2 years, the boys did whatever they could to survive. Jose even had to resort to selling his body just to feed his brother. This was all before the age of 6, by the way. This is all coming from Gignac himself. He's
Who the fuck is?
Wait, just hit play.
It's so many questions.
not exactly the most truthful guy, so take it with a grain of salt. Thankfully, after 2 hard years on the streets, the Moreno brothers were adopted by Nancy and Jim Gignac, who renamed Jose to Anthony. Now, there's no doubt that life in the suburbs of Michigan is a lot better than being a homeless child slave, but life was still pretty tough for young Tony. He was bullied relentlessly in school for being a chubby brown kid, and he didn't have a lot of friends. So he spent most of his time watching television, specifically a show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous is a jet-set romp to the luxury playgrounds of the world with all the big winners. Take off with us on an unforgettable journey to the ultimate sweet life.
This show kicked off Anthony's obsession with wealth, power, and fame. An obsession that would go on to consume his entire life.
You know what's crazy? They always saying, oh, these people committing crimes because of the video games, because they playing GTA, it's because they playing whatever. No, it's just as likely for them to be influenced by a regular show about a rich person and they go commit fraud to do, you know what I'm saying? And crime has been around forever. So before video games were even a thing.
And let's be honest, some of them crimes are way worse than what we got
now.
now.
Come on now.
Anthony started his long career of grifting in the 6th grade. One day his mom got a call from the local car dealership.
Hi, we're just calling to let you know that the Prince's Mercedes is ready.
Apparently, Tony tricked the dealership into believing he was a Saudi prince and his dad, the king, would pay for the car later. They even let him test drive it and everything. Did I mention he was 12 years old? It was at this point that Tony's parents realized there was something seriously mentally wrong.
How did you let a 12-year-old convince you? Man!
Granted, I ain't gonna lie though. You gotta think about it. You have to think about it from a certain perspective, right? You have to remember, this isn't your average 12-year-old. You have to think about it. If a regular 12-year-old, I'm like, I'm not gonna believe this, right? But this kid could have been a master manipulator at 12 because of all the trauma he went.
But the question is, what did he... It's not just what he say. What did he show to prove to you that his dad was a Saudi king that had the funds to pay you later? He ain't got no access to a Saudi king. How?
To therapy, but it didn't really help too much. He spent most of his teen years in mental institutions until the age of 17 when he ran away from home. But luckily for Anthony...
And you let him drive! Even if his dad could afford the car, he can't drive! Legally in this country!
Mental institutions until the age of 17 when he ran away from home. But luckily for Anthony, a nice Arab family took him in. Not out of the kindness of their hearts or anything, but because Tony threatened them. He told the family that he was Saudi royalty, and if they didn't let him stay at their house, he would send his father's secret police after them. Luckily for them, he wouldn't stay long because he would soon be arrested for impersonating Adnan Khashoggi, a Saudi arms dealer who happened to be the richest man in the world at the time.
For Adnan Khashoggi, a lifestyle of heroic excess is matched only by the zeal of the global press to explain this mysterious...
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Sometimes selling weapons
sounds so great.
It sounds like maybe we, you know what I'm saying? We need to... We gotta figure out how to wholesale this shit.
But outside of that, I'm not understanding. How good does this nigga have to
gotta
be
great
to convince a family, let me live with you or my dad is gonna...
Gotta be great.
mogul whose name and face appear in headlines across the world.
After his first of many arrests, Tony fled Michigan and went to California. He figured that if he could fool actual Arab people, scamming white people would be even easier.
He not wrong.
He not wrong.
He not wrong. He master manipulator. He's not wrong.
And he was right. For the next few years,
wrong.
Anthony would grift his way across America, wearing designer clothes, riding around in limos, eating prosciutto. This man was truly living the lifestyle of the rich and famous. So how did he do it? Well, it was actually quite simple. He would convince people he was a Saudi prince. They would give him free stuff.
Right.
Eventually, they caught on to his scheme,
Right.
and he would go to jail. And then he would move to a different city and repeat the whole thing all over again.
He said the jail time is just worth the trade-off, basically.
He learning his trade, bro.
Yeah, he's got $10,000.
He mastering it, bro.
Welcome back to Lifestyles of the Criminally Insane. Today's episode, Anthony Gignac. Anthony earned the nickname the Prince of Fraud after years of impersonating Saudi Arabian Prince Khalid Al Saud. In 1991, while posing as the prince, he spent a whopping $10,000 on limousines and luxury hotels, using his silver tongue.
I understand it's pre-internet days, but just because you tell me you a prince, I'm not giving you shit. I'm not.
Also, you gotta remember it was a different time.
Yeah, time of stupidity.
People were more trusting back.
They fucking gullible is what they was. That's why these old fuckers get they still get scammed. Oh, this is the Saudi Arabian prince. I owe you $10,000. All you gotta do is send me $500 this in the mail. Oh, for real?
He was also able to con Rodeo Drive shopkeepers out of a set of Louis Vuitton luggage and a rare coin collection. Impressive for a man with a bowl cut. After a 4-day spending spree, his limousine turned into a cop car and his 5-star hotel into a jail cell. But prison didn't stop the prince for long. His next destination was San Francisco, where he stayed at the world-famous Ritz-Carlton for 2 months under Prince Khalid's name. Unfortunately, his trip was cut short by yet another trip to the penitentiary. But his most cunning act of degeneracy would happen in 1993, where he would check into Hawaii's finest beachside resort, and because of the prince's exquisite tastes, he quickly racked up a $20,000 bill.
My nigga. Okay, question. Well, damn, nobody knows. What form of deposit was it for hotels back then? What was the check-in process? Only check-in process I know is our generation, where they take your credit card and put it down, and you have to put one down. There's no exception.
Yeah, shout out to Corey.
What was the fucking? Why was he so easily able to fucking go hotel, resort with nothing? He doesn't have anything.
He probably
got a little bit,
or
but
a checkbook. He probably got a checkbook.
Lucky for him, he was able to pay off his balance by selling an imaginary oil field to another hotel guest.
No, this nigga's the GOAT! The GOAT! He's the fucking GOAT! This nigga sold an imaginary oil field to another guest and paid his balance. Nah, he's the GOAT! I don't care! That's crazy! Not only did he convince a hotel guest that he owns an oil field, he sold it to him on the spot, got the cash, or at least the deposit on the spot. He's Himothy. I'm not... He's the GOAT! The MVP!
This man truly has no shame.
You get the idea. It went on and on and on like this for years. This guy's like my ex-girlfriend. No matter how many times he got caught, he still kept sleeping with my Uncle Ruben. I mean, still kept committing fraud.
Wow.
Gignac's reign of terror finally came to an end when he was arrested again in Chicago for scamming $50,000 worth of shitty, overpriced clothing from Saks Fifth Ave. Man, this guy's a real putz. Can you imagine having your identity stolen? Well, I hate to break your shady bro. 27th offense, so they wanted to make an example out of him. He knew he needed a good lawyer if he was going to get out of this.
I'd better call Saul.
So he called up Johnny Cochran, you know, the guy who got OJ off?
No way. No way. No way. No way.
Must acquit.
Now, the crazy thing is, Cochran actually met with him but refused to take his case because of, quote, questions about authenticity. All right, well, he couldn't have the best, so he had to settle for one that was dumb enough to actually take his case. So he reached out to this guy, Oscar Rodriguez. Khaled convinced this guy that he actually was the prince, and that if Oscar took his case, he would make him the royal family's personal attorney in the United States.
What's the proof? He has to have something in his back pocket for nigga after nigga after nigga to fall for this. There's something in his back pocket, his house of cards, that proves he's a prince. It's something. He has to. There's no fucking way. There's no way everybody's just, oh, that's the prince. There's no way. This nigga's not D1. He's Hall of Fame. He's Hall of Fame manipulator.
This nigga, this like that movie with Leo when he was depositing them fake checks. And it brought him all the way to the point where he had to fly the plane because he was lying about being a pilot.
Oh, man.
Now, Oscar wasn't actually dumb. His gut was telling him that this guy was full of shit.
Okay.
But even if there's a 2% chance that this dude was actually a Saudi prince, he didn't want to risk passing up that opportunity.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
It's like when you're on a dating site and the 10 out of 10 messages you, you know there's a 99.99% chance that she's a whale, but you still got to take the risk.
But this is probably fake. But until I get some concrete evidence.
Bro.
Hey, sweetheart.
Nigga, I wish I was, boy. I ain't gonna lie. If I was like this nigga, boy, I'd be so easy.
He almost on Aaron level of gaslighting. Facts.
Nigga, if I was bitch, I'd be rich.
Man, he's good. He's the GOAT.
Oscar paid Khaled's bail, which came out to $50,000, on the condition that the royal family would pay him back within 24 hours.
Right.
Obviously, the money never came, so Oscar had to take the prince back to jail. That's when Khaled got a brilliant idea. He told Oscar to take him to the nearest American Express office. And 30 minutes later, this mother sucker actually walked out with a credit card with a $200 million line of credit. You gotta remember.
Guess we back again with Gamer Subs. What's up, chat? You might be asking how did Conor McGregor get here? You're asking too many questions. The boys over at InternetCity have teamed up with Gamer Subs. If you go to gamersubs.gg/InternetCity right now, you can get 10% off. I'm talking flavors like raw meat, guacamole, gamer fart. And these two right here, we got the nuclear section and chug juice. You either go, or I'm gonna go with you. Guess who's back again?
Remember, this was the 90s, okay? It's not like today where you gotta solve 32 puzzles, send in a sample of your blood, and sacrifice your firstborn just to check your fucking Yahoo Mail account. Gignac wasted no time using up that line of credit. After paying Oscar back,
And none of it's in his name. None of it. How was he gonna pay back $200 million? It's not in his name.
he went on possibly one of the most unhinged shopping sprees in history. I'm talking Rolexes, jewelry,
Off one
fine art,
scam.
extra guac at Chipotle. This man spared no expense. Any suspicions that Oscar had up until this point completely vanished. Until he got a phone call from American Express.
Hey man, we fucked up. He's not a prince. You need to stop him before he blows through the entire 200 million.
This can't be the real call. This the
Oscar
real call.
was shitting his
Can't be the real
absolute
call.
pants at this point because he let Tony get on a plane to New York. If that guy fled the country, Oscar Rodriguez would look like the biggest schlemiel ever. So he sent 2 bounty hunters to New York to capture the prince and bring him back to Miami. They were able to track him down pretty easily. He wasn't exactly subtle. The man rented out an entire floor of the Four Seasons. After roughing him up a little bit, the bounty hunters brought...
This is the smartest idiot ever.
They walked in there and whooped his ass. They walked in
This
there.
nigga is the smartest
He is.
idiot.
I was
of
thinking
all
the same
time.
thing earlier. But they walked in there and whipped
did him dirty.
Hey, we about to be arresting this nigga. They walked in there. You know what? Fucking scammer.
I ain't gonna lie, I done took some money off that card too.
He spent what? He spent what? Oscar didn't give him none of the money back that he paid him. He didn't get none of that money back.
Tony to LaGuardia Airport. One of them went to take a shit, while the other one got in line to buy tickets on the next flight out. And then he gets
slipped
swarmed
away.
by a bunch of police officers. One of them was pointing a shotgun directly at his head. Turns out Tony was able to give him the slip, and then he started running around the airport screaming hysterically, "I've been kidnapped! If any of my loyal subjects are here, call the Saudi embassy and CNN." Luckily, the cops didn't shoot them on sight, and the bounty hunters were able to prove that they were in fact not kidnapping the prince. But they couldn't risk putting him on a plane anymore, or he might parachute out and disappear DB Cooper style. So they rented a car, threw Gignac in the trunk, and drove 20 hours straight to Miami.
20 hours straight with this nigga in the trunk? This nigga.
The prince was screaming the entire way there. Now, you guys are probably wondering, how the shit was this mother sucker able to keep getting away with this? How did he keep getting access to these bank accounts and credit cards?
I need to know.
It says Khalid bin al-Saud. It's not Anthony Gignac's name.
Anthony Gignac is not my name. I actually legally changed my name to Khalid bin al-Saud. My social security number is Khalid bin al-Saud. My college transcripts, Khalid bin al-Saud. My naturalization immigration records, Khalid.
This nigga is brilliant.
I told you it was something in his back pocket. I told you it was something in his back pocket that keep convincing these niggas that he's Khalid al-Bin al-Saud. Whatever the fuck he said.
You wanna know what though? I'm gonna raise you one.
Right here and change your name. Let's do an experiment. Change your name.
This nigga really crazy.
Bin al-Saud. That nails it down to who?
What I was gonna say is I'll raise you one. I guarantee you he himself is the reason they're on like the applications and shit. Have you had any other name, any other social,
Yeah.
All it takes is one criminal to do some crazy shit like this.
But
and
it's
it
a set of
switches.
standard.
Yeah.
Khalid bin al-Saud.
That's why your scam's so good.
It's not a scam.
So he was able to gain access to Khalid al-Saud's accounts because he was Khalid al-Saud. That was his legal name, and he had the documents to back it up. It was actually genius. Unfortunately, not genius enough to keep him out of jail.
So he was getting the actual accounts of the other nigga. It wasn't just that he was getting in the other nigga's actual accounts because they have the same fucking name and information.
All he gotta do is get
wow. Why he couldn't use this genius for something else?
He was sentenced to 4 years in the slammer. Then he had another 3 years added on top of that when he tried to break out of prison in the most hilarious way possible. He lit his jail cell on fire and covered the floor in shampoo in the hopes that the guards would slip and he could make an escape. His second escape attempt was also foiled when his makeshift rocket failed to get him over the prison fence.
Bro, this nigga's like he's really a stupid genius.
He's the dumbest genius ever.
This nigga really is Wile E. Coyote.
This nigga built a rocket in jail? How?
Wow! Nigga had a poop rocket.
When Anthony got out of prison, he decided he was gonna change. Not like he was gonna stop being a criminal or anything. He was just gonna be a better criminal.
Yeah.
He was tired of constantly getting locked up and wanted to live the life of a prince for longer than just a few weeks at a time. But he realized he couldn't do it alone. When it came to getting people to believe his bullshit, Tony was brilliant. But when it came to the business side of things, he was missing a few chromosomes. So he needed somebody that could provide the legitimacy and business savvy that he lacked. Preferably someone with a British accent. That's where this guy, Carl Martin Williamson, comes in. A London-born banker with tons of connections to wealthy people, aka tons of rich schmucks who were begging to get ripped off. Soon after meeting, the two of them would go into business together, and Carl started up Martin Williamson International. The prince made this announcement on LinkedIn.
My friend and business partner Carl has created a new company. Martin Williamson International will assist all people in helping them to protect their assets from what is going on in the world and bring new business ideas to many of the Fortune 500 companies on behalf of its clients.
Whatever the fuck that means. Now, Carl was almost as good at bullshitting as the prince himself. He attracted investors to his new company by claiming that he knew Khalid for 20 years and showed them documents proving that the prince had over $2 billion in assets. But what were they investing in? Or I should say, what did they think they were investing in?
It dwarfs all other oil companies. Saudi Aramco produces over 10 million barrels of crude a day. That's 1 in 10.
You know how much money a nigga will put into an oil company that actually exists? When a nigga whose name is legally changed?
Getting into oil and gas, boy.
Every barrel consumed around the world. Far more than the likes of Exxon, BP, and Shell. Now it's set to claim a new record, the biggest IPO in the world ever. It's the cornerstone of Saudi Arabia's reform plan of Vision 2030. Saudi officials expect Aramco to be valued at $2 trillion.
Saudi Aramco is the 6th largest company on the planet by market cap. Carl told investors that they would be able to buy Aramco stock before it was set to go public. In just a few short months, 26 people invested $8 million to get in on that action. Now, for most normal people, $8 million would be enough to retire on. The prince could have put his ill-gotten gains into an offshore account and disappeared to some tropical island somewhere. But it wasn't about the money for him. I mean, it sort of was, but not really.
Love of the game.
It was mostly about being known, being respected.
That's the problem. You've already been caught.
Gotta let that ego go.
Like, you've been caught multiple times for the small stuff, and you've been caught on the big one.
And your dumbass tried to build a rocket in prison.
That ego, boy, man.
Scene, which is probably why he was constantly showing off his wealth on Instagram. This guy posted on Instagram more than a white woman who just started going to the gym. Luxury cars, Rolexes, piles of cash, Rolexes on top of piles of cash. Even his fucking dog had a diamond collar. Now, the gram wasn't just about being flashy. It also added more credibility to his rich Saudi persona, which is why between the jewelry and hotels, he would also post pictures of actual Saudi royals that he claimed to take himself. This facade of wealth combined with Carl's business expertise was enough to trick even the savviest business person. Not me, though. I would never fall for that dumb shit. Carl and the prince were riding high after their whole IPO scheme, so they decided to set their sights on a new target, Jeff Soffer. He's a billionaire who inherited a real estate empire from his dad, Don, who just so happened to be featured on an episode of Tony's favorite show.
Don Sofer, the man who stays in control at work and play.
The show that led him full circle around to scam the son of the nigga he loved on TV.
Envisioned an ultimate lifestyle, built it, called it home.
The crown jewel of the Soffer family was the fact.
Going through a mental
being a good guy sucks. Why Diddy was doing this shit, man?
This is crazy, bro. This is nuts.
Fountain Blue Hotel in Miami.
Welcome to the historic Fountain Blue Miami Beach. Back in the day, you couldn't swing a martini glass here without hitting Elvis, the Red Pack, or anybody who was anybody.
This place is so fancy that they actually shoot homeless people with sniper rifles if they get within 100 feet of the building. But despite its prestige, the Fountain Blue had been in debt for years. So when Jeff got a call from a Saudi prince who wanted to give him a bunch of money, he was pretty excited. So the two of them started hanging out, and Soffer even brought the prince to his home in Aspen to talk business. There's actually a video of them on a private plane together. See, there's Jeff and there's Carl Williamson. This trip would be the beginning of the end of the Prince of Fraud. See,
he's great.
Jeff had been secretly running a background check on the prince, and his people were calling around. Somehow, Tony got word of this, and when he heard, he was outraged. He started throwing a huge fit and told Soffer that the deal was off. Jeff started panicking. He was about to lose out on the deal of the lifetime, he thought. But then, Carl told him perhaps the prince would be willing to reconsider if he gave him an amazing gift. That's when Jeff bought him this disgustingly gauche Cartier bracelet.
Damn, I'm not even gonna cap. That'd be hard. Would I ever buy it or be able to afford it? No.
Yes.
But yes. That bit kind of hard.
Oh, man.
Bracelets. After that, the two of them were best buds again. Jeff even invited
Just
Tony
like
to a
that,
fancy
he's
dinner.
the ultimate scammer. Throw a hissy fit to get him back, reel him back in. What? Background check? Fuck this deal. I'm out. I'm out. What? You got me a what? Okay, we back in.
To see if they could smooth things over and if the deal could continue. That's when the prince made his fatal mistake. He ordered an appetizer with prosciutto. Jeff thought to himself, wait a minute.
Yeah, Muslim.
Pork. Pork. How a slice of ham sent this scammer to prison.
Pork? That's haram. Then he started going through the prince's Instagram. Dogs, alcohol, gambling. Now here's the thing, Arab royals are known to partake in plenty of sinful activities in private.
Say men's, ain't it?
Yeah.
In private though, not on Instagram.
Never be this brazen as to advertise it to the entire world. It's honestly shocking that it took him that long to figure it out. In fact, it's insane that all these people were so easily fooled by this chubby, gay Latino man who spoke with an American accent and couldn't string together a full sentence in Arabic.
When you put it like that, you know?
I guess it's hard to see when you have giant dollar signs in your eyes. There's probably a lesson in here somewhere, but I don't really care. Anyways, Jeff knew that the prince was full of shit at this point, but he needed proof. He needed hard evidence. So he told his private investigator to investigate privately. He got a call back 5 minutes later confirming everything. Jeff alerted the State Department and the FBI, but Tony was already long gone by that point. London, Paris, Hong Kong, Dubai.
Waited in my Ferrari. Yeah, you know what we do.
Okay. This makes this all worse. The Mexican in him is not hidden. He ain't even out here staying in the fucking Prince garb. He's not even staying in the Saudi Arabian garb. Like, that nigga don't look brown. Well, that type of brown. What are we doing?
Shout out Corey, bro.
He's fucking cool.
This guy was traveling the world, living his best life. Meanwhile, the feds were building a case against him. They raided his penthouse in Miami and seized $500,000 worth of high-end jewelry, artwork, cash, and even an autographed picture of Muhammad Ali. When Tony finally got back to the US, feds swarmed him before he even got off the plane. And they switched his diamond bracelets for a pair of stainless steel
Get him
ones.
out of here.
He was charged with wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and aggravated identity theft, which I guess is like regular identity theft, but angrier. As for his business partner, Carl Williamson, the FBI raided his home as well and charged him as a co-conspirator for the whole Saudi Aramco IPO scheme. Facing the possibility of years in prison, Carl hanged himself in his house. The prince later was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to 18 years in federal prison. And even though this was like his 714th time getting locked up, this time was different. In a sort of screwed up way, he got what he wanted. Sure, he might not have the riches anymore, but he's certainly famous.
Yeah, he famous, all right. Hey, he might be the gold scammer though. Bro, is it a scammer better? Come on, it's gotta be low key.